Hi, everybody. We have the absolute pleasure of talking to Vanessa today. Vanessa, thank you so much for doing this. I'm so happy to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you. Very happy to be here.
All right. So, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Can you tell everybody what is it that you do? How long have you been doing it? Tell us a little bit more about you.
So, my name is Vanessa. I work in car sales. I was previously somewhat in solar sales, like an inside salesperson, not a door-to-door salesperson, thank goodness. Not tough enough for that. But I've been in car sales for about a year. I mostly work with Fords. I'm within a Lithia Ford dealer, so mostly Fords, mostly trucks, given the area that I work in as well.
So, what were you doing before you got into car sales?
I guess my first real big girl job, because I'm only 23, was in solar. I was originally a inside salesperson, so once the person was already interested in solar, essentially what I would do is if they needed any electrical upgrades, roofing upgrades, removal, addition of solar panels, I would ultimately be the final person that they talk to before finalizing the deal, executing the numbers, and then getting their whole project essentially to permitting so that it could actually get installed on their home, which is really how I got into sales in the first place. I didn't do much sales before then. I was kind of very slowly worked into that position. And it's ultimately the reason I felt comfortable enough to try car sales. Luckily, my Ford dealership took a little bit of a risk hiring somebody so young and so new to the business, but I'm glad that they did because I definitely appreciate the opportunity.
So, why car sales?
Honestly, it to be blunt, it was one of the only things on Indeed that would pay my bills. All in one job. I didn't want to have two jobs. I knew the hours wouldn't be something I necessarily looked forward to, but I prefer to have all those hours in one job than split in between two or even three.
That makes total sense. So, do you remember when you first started? What do you think was the hardest part about the job that you feel like you were able to master at the end? Like, what was your biggest challenge that you had to overcome when you first started?
I am definitely somewhat of a pushover, especially when it comes to in-person sales. My previous position, because I wasn't in person with these customers. It was as we're talking now on Zoom, set up by people I didn't talk to previously, just putting it on my calendar. And ultimately, I just needed to grow more of a backbone and be able to ask uncomfortable questions to get the uncomfortable answers that I need. But I feel like it's bled into other parts of my life to make me a more assertive adult and person in society.
Do you remember a story from when you first started that kind of stands out to you?
My manager, he let me know, and this helped refocus on what I should be looking at when I'm dealing with customers in person is not to focus on what I could be making on the deal rather than how many deals I need to make in order to make a certain amount of money. So he told me, think of all of the deals you're making as the most minimal amount you can make and always go for the numbers.
Mm.
So ever since then, it's been about 4 or 5 months of me implementing that. And it's definitely helped with my day to day mental togetherness because I can't control how many customers are going to come into the store, how many leads I'm going to get. And just focusing on sell this many cars and I can pay my bills has definitely helped pull me out of that rut of I can't control how many people I get to talk to.
Yeah, that makes total sense. So, did you have, it sounds like your manager was helping you a little bit. Do you feel like you had mentors around you helping you, like showing you the
Oh,
ropes?
definitely, definitely. It's I think one of the unfortunate things about working in a male-dominated industry is trying to weed out the people who are actually trying to help you versus the people who are masking their help as a means of being able to take from the deals you make for yourself for example, one of my coworkers, not that he hasn't helped me in great ways, he definitely has with certain things, helped me feel more comfortable. For example, presenting a pencil, going over numbers with customers confidently, being able to explain where things come from, what they are, how they work. But he would also turn around and use that relationship that we had built so that if I had a customer I might not have felt fully comfortable closing, he could step in, put a little bit of effort in, and get half of my car deal just because I knew that he was helping, being helpful. But in reality, he was just being helpful to try to get something out of me to serve himself.
Yeah. How did you sort out that difference?
Over the last year, our team hasn't changed too much. So it's definitely been easier to know which people I prefer to go to and which I don't. It's unfortunate that most of the older guys in the industry are the ones that I don't necessarily want to work with. It's not to say that they're bitter, but I don't think they like my attitude
Mm.
at work because I love to be friendly with everyone. I'm friends with everyone at the dealership because we have a service and a parts department. So I'm friends with everyone there, not just the sales department. And I do low key think they don't like how friendly I am with everyone. Whereas my managers and I mean, the owner of the store really like how friendly I am with everyone. And I think that also kind of irritates them in the same way.
That's crazy. So let me ask you something. If there's somebody who's listening right now who's actually having a hard time fitting in because maybe they're the only woman in the whole team, maybe they are, yeah, experiencing this like maybe like discomfort of not fitting in right away. What advice would you give her? Before we hear the answer to that really juicy question from our guest, I wanted to tell you how I found her, how she ended up on this video in this interview. I found her on TikTok because she had a strong presence, because she was using the right hashtags, because she knew what she was doing. And that is how your customers find you. That is how you establish your authority in the marketplace. That is how car salespeople make their mark and take control of their careers, by being online. And you need to be on TikTok if you're not already. My name is Ina. I'm the AutoSocialGal, and I'm a social media strategist for car salespeople, for car dealerships, and I have helped hundreds of people with their online presence over the past decade. And now, for the first time ever, I have created a Mastering TikTok for Car Sales course that you can have right now and learn everything I know about how to show up on TikTok, attract your right customers, and also make the experience be right for you. It doesn't have to be silly dances. It doesn't have to be complicated scripts or skits. It can be whatever you want it to be. And in this course, I really put everything that I know so that you can have the kind of presence that is going to make you go from unknown to unforgettable, so that people want to drive 2 hours out of their way to come and buy cars from you. I have you with the list of equipment that you need, with all of the TikTok features. I am going to show you exactly around the app. I'm going to show you how to simplify the analytics process. You don't have to know everything right off the bat to be successful. I'm going to show you how to stand out with your unique personality. I'm going to show you the viral examples so that they inspire you and you know exactly what to post, and so much more. And all of this can be yours right now. And I want to give you a very special $15 off code. The price of the course is going to keep changing. I just put this out there and the price is going to continue to increase. So don't rest thinking that the price is going to stay the same, and grab this code right here for your $15 off, no matter what the price of the course is. Just code this QR code, take a picture of this QR code, or go to autosocialgal.com/TT for TikTok Get it? And use the code YTGals. That stands for YouTube Gals, so that I know you came from this video and you're coming from here. It's all in that QR code. If you go to autosocialgal.com/TT, it already has the code baked into it, and you can go and grab it right now, because I want to see you on TikTok so that I can go and invite you to be on this YouTube channel, elevate your authority, and inspire others. All right, now let's go back to the interview.
When I couldn't make friends in the sales department, I found friends elsewhere. Because we also happen to have a Mazda dealership across the street. I also made friends with not only the Mazda technicians, but the Mazda parts advisor, as well as the Mazda service advisor. He's definitely one of the people I look forward to talking to on a daily basis. I say hi all the time. So that would be my suggestion, is if you can't make friends in the sales department, make friends elsewhere. I can go to the bar with people in the service department on either side of this street. It doesn't have to be just sales.
No, that makes sense. That makes total sense. And like, um, it must be it must be hard, like realizing that you're not necessarily going to be coming to work and like being friends with 100% of the people, but you do have to stay like professional and friendly, and happy to work with you. But like, it doesn't have to be your home. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
can make a home someplace else, make a like
100%.
find friends in other places. Do you have a favorite customer story?
Today was kind of a great time for you to ask that question. There, about a year ago, ironically, there was a customer who came in. I had no idea they were from the service department. Something was going on with their truck, and they ended up just buying something else off the showroom floor instead of fixing the vehicle they had in service. I sat with them for about 2 hours, entertaining them. I had no idea that my coworker was not going to put me on the deal for babysitting them for 2 hours while they bought a showroom floor, top of the line, almost $100,000 vehicle. Didn't give me any credit for that deal. I had no idea, because I was so new at the time, that I could have even asked for it. Again, taking advantage of how new I was. And she actually ended up coming back and giving me a gift I still have on my desk. And it's a little stuffed Rottweiler. She bred Rottweilers for 20 plus years. She had this huge 180-pound Rottweiler she brought in last year that she brought in this year as well, because they just came in yesterday to get their brand new Expedition serviced.
Yeah.
So I just got to see them yesterday and tell her that ever since she gave it to me a year ago, it stayed on my desk since then.
Oh, that is so nice. I love it when people just come back and you just
Mm-hmm.
have
Well,
that
and the amount
relationship.
of the amount of children I've had entertain themselves with that stuffy has paid off in and of its own. Like, I told her that as well yesterday.
I feel like my son would be all over that stuffy. Uh, do you have advice for customers coming into the store?
I feel like most of what I would say is most of what customers already do, but to check the website before you come in, just to make sure if you're looking for a certain kind of vehicle that we actually have it on the lot. Not that we can't get it from another lot, but it definitely saves you time and money if you know if we have exactly what you're looking for. And feel free to call in, select a salesperson. If I'm being honest, if you normally want better service at a dealership, see if they have a woman that works on the sales floor. She'll always work harder for you than any man that gets hired there, any age range, if I'm being completely honest. My women work harder in the service department and the parts department than the men, so it's across the board. It's not just sales. Checking Kelly Blue Book on your trade in. If you are adamant about needing a certain number for your trade in to get to like a certain monthly payment, or you're hoping to finance a certain amount, just be honest with your salesperson, because they can't work for you and towards your goal if they don't know what your goal is. And if you can't trust that the sales department isn't going to take advantage of you, you're not at the right dealership or with the right person. Go for a woman. That's honestly my number one suggestion. When I go anywhere, really, I always see if there's a woman option instead of a man.
Big time.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. How important do you think social media is in car sales?
In this day and age, I would say it's pretty important. Being able to consistently post and not only give information to customers online who are going to buy a vehicle from you, but who might also not buy a vehicle from you are very important. And I say that because when I post on Facebook, I'm not necessarily always looking for a sale, but if I can, oh, speak of Facebook, I just got a message right now from somebody messaging me about one of my cars. I actually just sold a car yesterday because of Facebook. She actually, and this is what I mean by just being honest with your salesperson. She was going into the doctor. She normally works nights. She was scrolling on Facebook. She happened to see my Facebook post, messaged me about it, and because she works nights, nobody was willing to work with her as hard as I was working for her to get her approved, which is the only reason she drove 3.5 hours to come and buy the car yesterday.
So, in conclusion, pretty important.
Pretty important. And the reason I say customers who might not buy from you either are also important is because I actually have a 5-star Facebook marketplace sellers rating from 4 people who did not buy cars from me, but appreciated my conversation and service so much that they rated me on Facebook and left comments saying, even though I didn't buy a car from her because I dragged my feet and I lost out on the deal, her customer service was so great. Highly recommended if you ever need to buy a car from a dealership.
Yeah. Care about every interaction.
Absolutely.
Do you have your best social media hack that you would like to share?
Customers won't like this, but restrict the information, force them to talk to you. The number one way I've gotten people to message me more on Facebook is I post 3 pictures of the car, 3 angles, and in the caption, I put to give me a call at my phone number if you'd like more information. The amount of responses I have gotten from there is astronomical just because they only have one chance unless they go through and do digging in my photos to figure out exactly where the car is located at. They have to ask me where it's at, what website it's on, this, that. Uh, and I have to be their go-to person at the dealership from there because if they come in and say, oh, well, I was talking to this girl on Facebook, they immediately have to turn the customer to me.
That is huge.
Mm-hmm.
That is huge.
Yeah.
So, winding down a little bit, I want you to imagine that I am putting you up on a stage in a stadium that is full of car saleswomen. What is your big message to them? What do you want to say to them?
Don't take it to heart. Um, One of the things I had to get over very quickly being in this business was how thin-skinned I was. People are going to be rude, they're going to be blunt. That includes your coworkers. And if I'm being honest, you're gonna end up doing it back to them as well. It's a vice versa relationship, so get used to it.
Words to live by. All right. So, Vanessa, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for doing this with us. Can you please
Yeah.
tell everyone where to follow you on social media, how to find you, and anything else you would like to share with them?
My TikTok is, and it's all run together. It's the same as my Snapchat, unfortunately. I am awesome now, and it's two, the number two at the end, not TWO.
All right. And we're going to put your links below anyway, so everybody can go and follow you and come and see you. So thank you so much for doing this. This has been absolutely
Yeah.
awesome.
It was super fun. Honestly, a nice recap of the fun things I've learned in cars.
It's been a wild year for sure. Thank you
Yes.
for sharing it with us.
Woo, absolutely. Thanks for wanting to learn about it.